While the world sleeps, a silent war rages beneath the waves. A war the headlines rarely mention, but one that costs billions and strikes at the very heart of the drug cartels. You might think naval warfare belongs in history books or Hollywood blockbusters, but today it plays out quietly in the vast oceans of the world. The U.S. Navy and Coast Guard are engaged in a relentless battle against an invisible enemy: drug cartels armed with stealth submarines and high-speed boats. These cartels smuggle massive quantities of narcotics in vessels that look like they belong in a James Bond film. But why don't we hear about these battles? What are these mysterious narco subs? And how has a single American ship become the cartel's worst nightmare? Stay with us as we reveal the astonishing truth behind this hidden war on the high seas. Forget what you know about drug smuggling. This is not just guys in boats with bags of cocaine. This is sophisticated, high-tech warfare involving custom-built submarines and modified speedboats designed to evade radar and outrun helicopters. It all began in the 1980s when Colombian cartels towed crude underwater containers behind fishing boats. But as law enforcement adapted, so did the cartels. By the 1990s, they were building their own submarines, not in factories, but in jungle workshops hidden beneath dense canopies. Made from fiberglass and wood, these hand-built subs were nearly invisible from the sky. Today, these narco subs are engineering marvels. Despite being constructed by individuals with little formal training, they can travel up to 2,500 miles, carry 10 tons of cocaine, and remain submerged for most of their journey. They're painted in oceanic blues and often lined with lead to evade thermal detection. And they're equipped with self-sinking valves, a last resort to destroy the evidence if captured. Each of these vessels can cost up to $2 million to build, yet they're capable of delivering cargo worth more than $150 million on the street. Even more concerning, for every submarine intercepted, intelligence agencies believe 3 or 4 make it through. But drug cartels don't just rely on stealth, they also rely on speed. Enter the Go Fast, speedboats outfitted with up to 4 roaring engines that allow them to reach blistering speeds of over 80 miles per hour. Originally designed by Prohibition-era rum runners, these boats are now enhanced with camouflage paint, fake fishing gear, and hidden compartments for drugs. To counter them, the U.S. Coast Guard developed HITRON, elite helicopter teams that rain down firepower from above. They use machine guns and sniper rifles to take out engines mid-chase, disabling the boats without harming their crew. It's a cat-and-mouse game played out on the open water. Then there are the hybrids, low-profile vessels that combine the stealth of submarines with the speed of go-fast. These sit inches above the waterline, barely visible and nearly impossible to detect with traditional radar. But the cartels didn't count on Operation Martillo, Spanish for hammer. In 2012, 14 countries united to hit the cartels where it hurt: their supply chains. Military forces created an unbreakable wall across the sea routes between South America and the U.S., seizing hundreds of tons of drugs and millions in cash and contraband. That effort only grew. In 2024, Operation Orion expanded to include 62 nations. With combined radar, drones, and satellite systems, they track submarines and speedboats across the globe. The result? A record-breaking seizure of 225 tons of cocaine, over 1,000 tons of marijuana, and an $8.5 billion blow to the drug trade. And at the heart of it all stood one ship, the U.S. Coast Guard cutter James. This 418-foot behemoth, a Legend-class national security cutter, represented the pinnacle of modern maritime law enforcement. For 112 relentless days, it sailed across treacherous waters in the Eastern Pacific and Caribbean, a silent predator in the vast ocean, targeting some of the most dangerous drug trafficking operations in the world. While the waves crashed against its hull and storms brewed across the horizon, James remained on mission, tireless, determined, and armed with one of the most capable crews and technological arsenals in the Coast Guard fleet. On board, a crew of 150 highly trained Coast Guard personnel worked around the clock in rotating shifts. Each member had a role to play, from engineers keeping the twin gas turbines and diesel engines humming, to intelligence officers poring over intercepted communications, to armed boarding teams preparing for potentially hostile engagements. They operated under immense pressure, knowing that each lead could mean the difference between a major bust and a missed opportunity. Morale remained high, fueled by a shared sense of purpose to choke off the flow of drugs before they could ever reach American shores. But it wasn't just manpower that made James so formidable. It was the cutting-edge technology packed within its steel frame. The cutter was equipped with advanced radar and electro-optical sensors capable of scanning vast areas of ocean day and night. Its command and control center operated like a floating intelligence hub, analyzing data in real time and coordinating with aircraft, satellites, and other vessels. Perhaps most importantly, James deployed unmanned aerial drones that could soar hundreds of miles ahead, capturing high-resolution images and video of suspicious vessels. These eyes in the sky provided critical intelligence and situational awareness, giving boarding teams the edge they needed to act decisively. In this particular deployment, the results were staggering. Over the course of its 112-day mission, James and its crew intercepted multiple vessels suspected of drug trafficking. Through high-speed chases, stealth approaches, and at-sea interdictions, they seized over 48,000 pounds of narcotics, primarily cocaine and marijuana, a haul so massive it could supply an American city for an entire year. These operations often unfolded in high-risk environments, where smugglers were armed, desperate, and prepared to do whatever it took to avoid capture. Yet time and again, James prevailed. Each seizure told a story of coordination, bravery, and sacrifice. Fast response boats would speed from the cutter's decks, armed Coast Guardsmen ready to board suspicious go-fast boats or semi-submersible vessels trying to evade detection. Often, the smugglers would attempt to dump their illicit cargo overboard, but the crew's swift action and drone footage helped recover massive bundles of contraband. Every pound of drugs taken off the water represented not just a legal victory, but a blow against the cartels profiting from addiction and violence. The war on drugs has left the streets and taken to the sea, where stealth, speed, and global intelligence determine victory. It's a battle fought with submarines that disappear beneath the waves and speedboats that vanish into the horizon. But with operations like Martillo and Orion, and ships like the cutter James, the tide may finally be turning. So the next time you hear silence from the sea, remember, it's not peace, it's a secret war, fought in shadows with billions at stake, and it's far from over. If you found this story as shocking as we did, like, share, and subscribe for more eye-opening content. The truth is out there, and we're here to uncover it.